Hey guys, it's Leesh, and welcome to another episode of Car Confessions. Guys, okay, first of all, I'm not sure if my video is turned the right way, so if it looks like I'm looking another way, it's because my camera is probably turned the wrong way, but here we are. How are you all? What's happening? What's going on in your world? I'm actually leaving work a bit late. We had a meeting today, so a little spent. A long day. But yeah, I mean I'm feeling good and just excited that it's Wednesday. 2 more days and then it's the weekend. But then it's like the weekend goes by like that and then we're back at it. Like it's crazy. I was looking at a reel earlier today. It was funny. The guy was like, "What's up with these 30-second weekends? Like what? How do the weekends go by so fast?" And I honestly feel that. Like it's those 2 days, it might as well just be, 30 minutes because what? Crazy. But nevertheless, it's still nice to have that time to kind of like, get it together. This past weekend, I had a lot going on. It was very busy, but good stuff though. Very good stuff. We actually there is a restaurant. If you haven't been to it, you definitely should go if you're in New York. If you live in New York or if you're planning on visiting New York, it's called Boulevard Bistro. They have soul food. I mean, I didn't really eat anything from there. There's nothing really vegan except like some vegetables and French fries, but I digress. But if you are here in New York City on a Sunday, in the evening, it's called Sing Along Sundays. And so much fun. They actually had they were playing songs from like the 90s. And, 90s, that's when I was like a teenager, so we were living, okay? We had such a good time, such a cool spot. So if you're ever in Harlem, it's like, I think it's on 16 Adam Clayton Powell. It's either Adam Clayton Powell or, what's the other street? It's not Lenox. Anyway, look at Boulevard Bistro. It's definitely on 116. That I know for sure. But, yeah, go get your life on Sunday at the Sing Along Sundays and live it up. Yeah, it was really fun. But yeah, so like I said, I'm going home and, as I was getting in the car, even before I was getting in the car, like today was like a kind of like a crazy hectic day, but not really with like my job, but just trying to process what is going on in this country. I mean, I feel like that is kind of like the main thread of the majority of our lives right now. Like, what the hell is going on? And last night was very heavy for me. Getting the news about Marcellus Williams' execution it wasn't a shock, right? But it was just another letdown by this country we live in. And, to say that we need to get out there and fight, and we need to do this, we need to do that. At this point, I'm in a space now where I'm just like, you know what? I have to, continue to, of course, raise my voice and, fight as much as possible. But it's like, at what point is the fighting not enough? And what we're doing that to, raise awareness on these things, how do we create the change that we want to see in this country? Like, where does that really come from? Because we have to go back to a drawing board and really genuinely figure out what we need to do in order to truly get justice in this country and to feel safe as a black and brown person in this country. I mean, this is yet another example of how this country thrives on the destruction of black people. Full stop. There's no other way to say it. And people will argue, oh, but that was just in Missouri. No, these things are happening across the country. I can't think of the other gentleman who lost his life in similar manner And it wasn't in Missouri. It was in another state. But I can't remember how many people within this year, but it's been a lot of people who have died wrongfully for crimes that they didn't commit by way of, our legal system just failing them across the board. And if you've been listening to the podcast, particularly Car Confessions, you guys, I go through it, right? But at the same time, I always want to have hope. And I always want to provide some sense of ways of moving forward and figuring out as best as I can. I mean, who has all the answers? No one. But like, try to figure out ways to really see how all of us as humanity can live and thrive and just live this life in a way that we're meant to just live and be and enjoy this earth and all the beauty that there is without trying to suppress another person, without trying to make other people feel less than. Like, humanity is not meant for that. Like, it's so much more for us to create beautiful things and for us to just enjoy the beauty that God has provided us on this earth. We're creators. And right now, the creation that is taking place, for the most part, is a lot of destruction, a lot of toxic behavior. And we get so caught up in things like, the scandal around, P. Diddy, Puffy, whatever you call them. And then it leads to these other celebrities that, are, next on the chopping block, whatever that looks like. And let's be serious. Like, I, like everyone else, I'm in it too. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But while we're in that, we also need to be in the real, everyday person's lives that truly need justice for things that they have not committed. I'm not here to condemn Puffy or whoever else they're going to put on the chopping block. But these people did these things. Like, we saw the videos of him, just brutally beating that woman, Cassie. The FBI has found, other information, from his home and, the videos and whatever else. So it's there. Like, the proof is there. So that, people will still argue that to the death. And listen, I'm not here to argue with you. If you believe that he's innocent, well, then that's your thought. But the point of it is those people who are truly innocent and there's no evidence showing that they're guilty and they're still being executed, like they lose their lives because they're Black and brown people, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. There's probably so many other words you could say, but it's truly disgusting. And it really just, drives that narrative of how, white people in this country and even other races who have been conditioned to think that Black people are, criminals and that we're, these cruel beings on this planet that are here to destroy, whatever, the idea of trying to erase who we are or to use us as free labor, because let's be serious, that's what the prison system is all about. It's from one slavery, exchange to another. Let's just keep it real. So to continue to criminalize us so you can get the labor that you want, or just to kill us because we're just expendable. It's like, I don't know when this ends. Because let's just say you do. Let's say you win at completely, eradicating Black people and, and getting what you want out of all of this. Then what? Like, then who do you go for next? Because it doesn't stop here, because you need somebody to suppress, right? I mean, some people are like worried about this election, the state of our country, if Trump wins, if Kamala wins. Like, everyone's got their sides on what that looks like. But I'm in a position, in my mind, mentally, of saying, forget all this shit. Like, fuck it all. Get rid of the system. Because even down to Marcellus Williams's, situation of, attempting to be freed from prison, or even not even going, and maybe not even freed from prison, but just not even being executed for, something he didn't even do. Or government officials, from what I know, didn't say anything about this man's execution. Didn't, you know, put any fire under the, people in Missouri that made this decision to say, hey, this is wrong. You guys really need to reconsider this. Like, none of that happened. There was nothing out there that I know of. And if you know something, please let me know. But nothing out there that, said that this was wrong. And as a country, we should, follow the law by the way that it is written as it relates to, our justice system. Really, like if we're going verbatim by words and not by, oh, that's a black person, so we're going to bend the rules, really go by what that is. Innocent until proven guilty. He was not proven guilty. He wasn't proven guilty. And yet and still, a man's life was lost. It's wild, y'all. It is wild. But in the beauty of it all, because you're like, where do we find the beauty in this? I saw an interview with Marcellus Williams. And and I don't know exactly when this actual interview took place, but the way he spoke about his situation, he was at peace. And he was Muslim. And his conviction as it relates to his religion and his belief in Allah and what Allah's will is for his life was so beautiful. Because in his eyes, and I'm paraphrasing, but he basically was just saying, whatever Allah's will is for my life, I want to fulfill that. And if it's meant for me to live, then that's Allah's will. If it's meant for me to die, then that's Allah's will for me to be an example, hopefully and I don't think he really elaborated on this, but I think it was insinuated that he was saying, hopefully, if I do die, it's Allah's will to then, raise awareness and to really shine a light on where America fails as a justice system. And that, those things that have been done by those who have, put him in this situation, that have sent him to execution, that Allah will deal with him. He has nothing, Marcellus Williams meaning, has nothing to do with that, and Allah will take care. It's so much bigger than us. So it's a spiritual warfare at the end of the day for those who, really believe in that. And I believe in spirituality. I believe this is spiritual. And I feel like at this point in time, it is so important for us to really take on, I'm trying to park this car, I just got home. It's really important for us to take on a practice that centers us, that grounds us, that allows us to know that despite whatever is going on, it is going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And what is okay? Everybody's okay is different, but it's not so much it's going to be okay. It is finding something. I'm trying to make sure this sounds right, but finding something that spiritually grounds you. That no matter how far you are swayed to the left or to the right in terms of turmoil and strife and grief, that you are grounded in some type of foundation, and that spiritually you are sound and know that all is well in your soul. Marcellus Williams, based off that interview I saw of him, all was well with his soul. All was well with his soul. And I think, in my opinion, that even though they executed that man, for those who may have wished him ill, if they saw that video, and this is just me, maybe some people who, they don't even care, well, whatever, but to me, if I saw that, knowing that I did that to someone, that would shake me to my core. Why do I have a thumbs up? That's weird. But that would shake me to my core, because even death will not defeat my spirit and who I am and who I will live on to be in history. Because someone like him, that spirit, that energy that came through that video, you'll never forget them. You'll never forget them. And it allows you even more so to raise your voice for the for those who don't have a voice, for those who have been wrongfully done. Wrongfully done? Well, you know what I'm saying. Who've been done wrong, right? I'm still processing all of this. And I can't even imagine his family and what they're going through. I send in prayers and good energy and love their way. I saw a video actually of his son, similar demeanor, where he was talking about his father and just sharing, memories and, knowing that his father's faith was so strong that it really, even though it's very hurtful, I can only imagine, they knew that, or he knew that his father was innocent and that his faith was so strong that, like, that was enough for the son, right? That was enough for him. And it was such a beautiful video. So impactful. So, like, it just really just pulled at my heart because it's like, look at this person. He has lost his father. He lost him to the system, and he's been imprisoned for so many years. So he's lost him to the system in that way, and now he's lost him by execution by the same system that wrongfully accused him. Missed opportunities to live with his father, missed opportunities to share certain, experiences with his father outside of a jail cell, all because of this racist country. And there's more Marcellus Williamses out there. And when you think of that, and you think of their families and the brokenness that this country has allowed and continues to allow and thrives on, it just really makes you question what the hell is going on. Oh gosh, I gotta go to the gas station. Follow me. I just realized that. Anywho, we're going over here to this gas station. But it is just mind-blowing to me. It's mind-blowing that this is where we are in this country. And this is where we've been. Like, this is not anything new, right? Like, this is not like, oh, this is the first time this has ever happened. First time. No, this is the norm. This is the norm. Like, yo, this is the norm. And people wonder why African Americans or Black people, depending on, I'll just say Black people. I told the story. But anyway, how Black people have so many health disparities, stress, and things of that nature. And I'm a nurse. So, going to school, I remember learning a lot of stuff as it relates to different ethnicities and their health concerns and different things like that. And then once we got to we started talking about Black people in America, it was the discussion of our diet was the issue. And that's why we have so many health problems. And to some degree, I can understand that, right? But if you understand stress and how it works in the body, regardless of your diet, if your nervous system is all over the place and you are constantly in a state of fight or flight, no diet is going to cure that. No diet's going to cure that. I don't care what anybody says. Does it help to be in fight or flight and eating, a lot of like very rich fried and, very sugary, whatever? No, it doesn't help. It obviously makes it worse, right? But imagine being a Black person in America, dealing with all the things that we deal with. That's that. And then, by way of slavery, eating the scraps that your master has, the last bits of whatever from, the hog or whatever. If you know anything about chitlins, hog mog, all the things that were deemed, the worst parts of the animal given to slaves. And then, of course, that trickles on into the diet of the people beyond slavery, because that's all you knew at that time. There's a whole rabbit hole we can go down on that. But even beyond the diet, that's what I was getting to. Beyond that, that stress is a killer. And until we address the injustices of Black people in this country, we are not only going to die by way of execution from, a judicial standpoint, we're going to continue to die from health disparities like heart disease and stroke and cancer and things of that nature because of the stress levels and diet. I'm not going to sit there and completely say diet is not a part of this whole situation, but it's just another thing added on to just being Black. It's exhausting, y'all. For those who aren't Black, it is exhausting. It is exhausting to see Black people treated like just a piece of trash. We're just expendable, like whatevs, But when it comes to innovation, when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to American culture, period, when you think of American culture, more times than not, somehow some Black person has influenced whatever you're thinking. It's just the truth. It's like we're good enough for those things to make America look good to, those around and whatever else. But for us to just live and be and thrive in this country, that can't happen, right? It's wild. It's wild. But I am a contrarian. And I want to fight. And so how do I fight that? I fight that in so many ways. By living my best life, by ensuring that my daughter is educated well, not just in her actual school, but also beyond that, learning from different people and being exposed to different types of people, knowing that she is enough by way of just being herself, eating well, going to bed early, laughing a lot, particularly now knowing a lot about Black people and laughter. If you want to know more about that, look it up. I laugh a lot. I laugh a lot. And I laugh very loud. If you know me, you know I laugh loud. And I love that. That brings joy to me. And really grounding myself and being around people that bring me joy, that I bring joy to, and that are willing to challenge the norm. At this point in my life, I don't want to be around a bunch of yes people and people that are, just trying to get by and, what is he doing? This guy's asking me to do something. I'm at the gas station, y'all, by the way. I think he's trying to put his car here. I don't know what's happening. Friend, what are you doing? Anyway, but yeah, I just don't have the capacity for people who are not in a space or willing to challenge how America lives and breathes and thrives. Because honestly, it's never really truly worked for the collective of Black people, right? Like, it's been a thing of a few get it, and then the rest, it's like, right? So yes, I'm constantly challenging that and just trying to do my best to go against what we know as the everyday American dream, right? Because this shit is crazy. It's crazy. But I'm doing my best to change that narrative, however that looks, because at this point, we have to stop being numb to these situations and circumstances and fight. We have to fight in a different way. That's what I'm saying. How do we do that? I don't know. We have to figure out something because this is not sustainable.